So I'd like to welcome everybody. Thank you. We got a pretty big audience today. We had over 50 clients registered for this session. And, we certainly are continuing to evolve in this working from home, working from the office. Where do I work? Right now, I'm working from my home out of Montreal, and I'm about to fly back in Vancouver in a couple weeks from now. Then after that, I'm going back to Alberta. So we essentially work from anywhere today. And whether you're in the office, you're on the go at the hotel, it's all about the hybrid work. And we've been partnering with Dell and servicing our customer with that trend. And we are continuing to evolve with different solutions, different innovations in this space. So welcome everybody. This is what we're going to be talking about is the hybrid work environment with Dell and in terms of client solutions. Before I do that, I want to thank all our customers for your great support um, over the years. I had the privilege and the honor to be in Toronto last week with the Dell team, and Microserve was recognized for the Excellence Award for being the largest end user compute or client solutions in Canada. So if you think about this, Microserve is a regional partner operating in BC and Alberta, and Dell has recognized Microserve as the largest partner in Canada. And we are obviously competing, supporting you guys every day with firms that are national in scope, with larger volumes and things like that. But because of our strength in this domain and your support as customers, we've been recognized by Dell as their largest partner in end user compute in Canada. So I'd like to thank you, everybody, for your great continued support, and we're here to continue adding value to your business and make sure that your end user are well served with the technology that they have on hand to do their jobs every day. Today I'm supported by two good friends of mine, Joey and Jerry. They both have nicknames for me, but we'll keep that for another day. We do quite a bit of work with them on a daily basis, engaging with clients, talking about roadmaps. So Joey is sales specialist in client technology at Dell, and Jerry is system consultant at Dell Technology. And historically, Jerry was on the 10 client side of the equation and now has morphed into a broader role inside the organization. And I'm here. I'm Sylvain Jacob. I'm the VP of Sales at Microserve. I've been for the organization for a little over 7 years. Our agenda today, brief introduction that I'm responsible to do, and then I'm going to turn it over to Joey and Jerry for the core of this session about hybrid work environment. What are the trends? What are the activities going on? What are the different directions that customers are going through so that you get a broader view of what's going on in the marketplace and in companies like you to make decisions on how you should be supporting your end user clients. We're going to talk about some solutions, and at the end, there's be plenty of time for some question and answers at the end of the conversation. And with that, I will turn it over to Joey for the core of our conversations. Joey, over to you.
Great, thank you, Sil. For the intro, good morning, everybody. My name is Joey Fong. I'm the sales specialist for Client Solutions here at Dell Technologies, based in Vancouver. And with me is our systems consultant, Jerry Landry. And together, we're going to take you through some of the trends that is happening within this new hybrid workplace that we're all experiencing, to Sil's point. And we'll take you through how, we'll look at together how Dell Client Solutions can help you navigate this changing workspace and really embrace the future of work, which is here to stay. So let's get started. What we noticed the past couple of years, especially with the pandemic, is that the future of work has greatly accelerated. People are looking for more meaningful work with the flexibility, the security, and also productivity, maybe most important of all, from that they've come to expect. But this notion of working in the office and expecting all these things have definitely changed, because now we have to support our employees while they work from many different places remotely. What we find is that individuals, some of them prefer to work from home more time than others, but mostly they prefer to work from home maybe 2 to 3 days a week with a split time in the office, and hence the hybrid work environment that we're all now in today. And then, of course, with this, it comes some challenges as well. And Vanson Bourne recently conducted a research on the state of hybrid work within organizations. And they found that 86% are still struggling to empower employees to work remotely with the security and the productivity and all of these things that they come to expect while they're in the office. And of course, these challenges not only impede the ability for organizations to move forward with implementing hybrid work, but they also lead to frustrations and also less productivity from employees. So an IDC white paper from April 2022, commissioned by Dell Technologies, shows how organizations are adapting to the rapidly evolving employee expectations towards hybrid work and the way they work. 45% of respondents in the survey said that remote and hybrid work are now accepted work practices in their workplace. While 42% of organizations say that an intelligent digital workplace is no longer optional, but it's a business necessity. So by delivering great employee experiences for remote work is widely viewed as an effective tool to attract and retain talent while improving productivity and making employees happier. In a market research study published in June 2021 last year, Vanson Bourne surveyed 2,000 IT decision makers, which revealed that the vast majority of their organizations have implemented hybrid work, and they realized the benefits of this work model. In another study conducted by IDC, majority of organizations now view meeting employee demands in a hybrid work environment is good for their bottom line, and it helps accelerate their business growth, which is further proof that hybrid and remote work will be here to stay. The same IDC study also revealed that over a third of their respondents, so these organizations they polled, are working on automating their repetitive tasks, while 24% is rolling out mobile-first access to corporate resources, all in an effort to further enhance operational efficiency and also improve employee productivity. So in order to thrive in this hybrid environment, we need to embrace this future of work, modernizing IT and offering intelligent user experiences that empowers meaningful work everywhere. And we believe that this would offer organizations distinct competitive advantage, and it is business imperative. On an independent research from Modern Computing Alliance and Accenture, digital leaders are outgrowing the competition almost 2 to 3 times. The ones that are investing in their tech architectures that align with their strategy, but also when they're actively enabling and driving it, which means not reacting to the present, but anticipating the future. And if you look at this quote from the study, their conclusion is that the most successful companies will be those that invest in their technical agility and continue their modernization. Another research shows that 89% of executives believe that their organization's ability to generate business value will be based on the limitations and opportunities of their tech architecture. In other words, if you don't modernize your IT environment and keep up the pace with this hybrid work, you're going to get left behind. And what this research shows us is that the winners of tomorrow will be the companies that invest in their flexibility and agility today. So what all of this data shows is that modernization is no longer an option. It is a requirement for companies to not only survive, but effectively thrive, grow, and innovate. An accelerating transformation for hybrid work and the IT agility helps offer flexibility, build resiliency for your organization, and also enhance performance all around. But of course, modernization is not just a journey. It's not just a one step and done. It is very much a journey. And every journey to modernization is unique and different to every organization based on your industry and also your desired business outcomes. One thing, though, is for sure is that the collective goal is to provide frictionless and premium experiences for users and IT, and keeping people at the center of this design. Now, our own path to modernization at Dell Technologies is quite unique and has continuously evolved over the past decade, with changes including persona-based experiences, modernizing endpoints, data centers and network topology, adopting to the multi-cloud, VDI, automation, and other monitoring tools. And as
Hey,
we go through
Joey.
today, yes.
I just want to make sure that everybody's seeing the screen here. I'm getting a ping from a customer that is not seeing the screen.
Oh,
Can everybody see the presentation? If you look at your Teams
I hope I
channel
haven't
here at
just
the
been talking.
bottom, no, I've been
Yeah,
seeing it, but people just have
you've
to
been
make
seeing
sure
it?
that they
Okay.
click on the screen at the bottom that is the
Yeah,
presentation. 100% I see it.
see the
Okay, that's
slide go through. Okay.
okay. All right, perfect. Everybody seems to be seeing the presentation there, content. Perfect. Thank you.
Excellent.
All right, just wanted to make sure everybody was on the presentation tab.
Awesome. Seeing a lot of
Perfect.
thumbs, so that's good.
All right, a lot of thumbs up. Perfect. Thank you.
Yes. So as we go through today's session, I like for you to keep a couple of questions in mind. How do you envision your pathway to modernization? And what is your biggest challenge across end user computing right now? And hopefully we'll be able to help offer some answers to those two questions by the end of this presentation. So where do we begin? It starts when you place people at the center of work. It's how leading organizations attract and retain the best talent nowadays. So by reimagining and redefining work based on outcomes, and in partnership with your HR and the rest of the departments within your organization, you can empower people to do their most rewarding work from anywhere with premium and equitable experiences. To us, there are three pillars to enabling your organization to embrace this future of hybrid work. One is to accelerate hybrid work by modernizing your IT environment. Two is protect your distributed data and devices by strengthening your security posture, thereby modernizing security. And third, but not the least important, is to deliver intelligent user experiences by modernizing your workplace. First, we need to accelerate hybrid work by modernizing IT. In a recent Benson Bourne research on hybrid work, IT decision makers indicated that 91% of the end users feel empowered in the workplace if they have access to the right technology. But how do we go about achieving this? Now, what if I was to tell you there was a roadmap or a strategy that's already in place that you could leverage, one that could help simplify and automate the IT process while prioritizing end user experience and making your employees happy? Well, Dell Technologies spent the past number of months interviewing both IT and end users to understand what good would look like in this work environment. Surprisingly, IT and end users are more aligned in what they want from technology than we previously thought. First and foremost, both want hardware that makes sense for each individual user. There is no one size fit all when it comes to the right device for each individual. Secondly, they want to be able to work as soon as they turn on their system. Once powered on, they want the technology to learn their preferences and optimize their performance of the device to their needs, tuned to their needs. And then as they work through the day, they need their technology and solutions to stay out of the way and keep up with their productivity. They want to be able to transition between devices seamlessly from place to place. And they want to get into the flow and not have restarts or pop-ups or anything like that to get in their way of doing their work. And ultimately, they want to ensure when it's time for a refresh, that it's time for a new device, there's an ethically sound and secure way of disposing or recycling their old device. Now, of course, hybrid work presents additional complexities and challenges for IT because employees are scattered everywhere, multiple locations, you're no longer just in one space. So IT must defend against these increased vulnerabilities from more entry points from multiple locations. Employees working anywhere demand instant access to data, to their applications, even their colleagues, which means IT has to remove data silos and obstacles to enable effective remote work. Lastly, IT must be able to leverage remote management tools to monitor, repair, patch, and protect their devices just as effectively as they used to in the office. Dell Technologies can help provide the right device for these different needs in your organization with the built-in intelligence and security that is also easy to manage. With the industry's most secure commercial PCs, the world's most intelligent commercial PCs, and the world's most manageable commercial PCs. Now, the second pillar to your modernization journey is security. The threat landscape, which has always been growing and evolving, is now taking advantage of vulnerabilities caused by the change in remote and hybrid work. A recent study shows that 78% of security professionals said that attacks are increased as a result of employees working from home, while 61% of these respondents acknowledge that there's a need to view security differently now due to the expanded threat surface. One thing we've learned over the course of the global pandemic is that the threat landscape, which has always been growing and evolving, is now taking advantage of all of these additional dynamics. Consider for a moment some late-breaking stats, because we just got these, I believe, a couple of weeks ago around remote work. 84% of IT leaders reported that data loss prevention is more challenging with a remote workforce. In addition, 48% of these employees say that they're less likely to follow safe data practices while working from home or away from the office, which is concerning. You can see a perfect storm coming, right? According to another research here from VMware Carbon Black, the security people, there has been a 148% spike in ransomware attacks in global organizations during the COVID-19 pandemic. And are you ready for the last stat? The cost of global damages from cybercrime in 2021 to all these different organizations around the world is over $6 trillion. And that is not a small monetary amount. So when you consider how to secure your endpoints, keeping a holistic view is probably a wise idea. And these are just some of the questions that you see here that you should be asking. But really, it comes down to your ability to prevent, to detect, and to respond to these threats, both above and below the operating system. So starting with below the operating system, this means the built-in security feature options that are available on Dell commercial client devices. Safe Shutter, which is an automatic webcam shutter. We have a privacy safe screen that is a digital privacy screen that you can turn on. We have an intruder detection feature that is available on the current generation of laptops to avoid people from peeking over your shoulder. Safe ID to secure user credentials, and Safe BIOS. Now let's take a look at above the operating system. What do I mean by that? Essentially, it's the additional layers of protection in the form of software and solutions that can prevent and detect attacks. Dell Safe Data offers on-device encryption, protects data and user access on the cloud applications, and repairs and restores endpoint agents if your device is ever lost or stolen. If your device and data security has been breached or compromised, Dell's incident response by SecureWorks can respond and help mitigate these cyber incidents. So in summary, you can modernize your security with Dell Trusted Devices, which is the suite of tools on the industry's most secure commercial PCs. Now we've talked about modernizing IT and security by safeguarding against threats. Just as important is the ability to deliver intelligent user experiences from day one, because your employees now expect it. We do this by personalizing and modernizing workspaces for seamless productivity and collaboration. And there are a lot of benefits to enabling a modern workplace. A recently published white paper indicated that there's a 21% increase in employee productivity for a leading organization that has a digitalized and improved workspace. The recent accelerators of change, like the increase in hybrid work, along with it, emerging technologies, have led us to reconsider our internal and external business use cases. Even before the pandemic, today's workforce has gotten accustomed to having the latest technology from their personal lives. And now more than ever, they want the same experience at work: connected, efficient, collaborative, and easy. They want technologies that works with them without issue, so they can get on completing their tasks done quickly and effectively from wherever they're working. And what this means is a seamless experience no matter where they work. A clear requirement that has emerged is the need to personalize and improve employee experiences by placing people at the center of work, no matter where they work. People are at the center of it, or IT, is the new design mantra for Dell Hybrid Work Solutions. As such, we must redefine use case personas from where we work to also include what we do in order to maximize productivity. Only Dell Technologies has the breadth of portfolio to meet the needs of every work style. Our fixed solutions run from thin and hybrid clients to Optiplex desktop PCs, all the way to the most powerful precision workstations. Dell Latitude meets all your mobility needs with laptops, 2-in-1s, small and light options starting at just 2.3 pounds. We're the only tier 1 vendor with a rugged line of IP53 and IP65 certified devices that includes tablets and laptops for the rough environments, outdoor environments that might be associated with the organization. Dell was the first to market with a mobile workstation some years ago. And in 2022, our two new 14-inch offerings that offers the most ultimate performance and mobility. And all of this is supported by a common ecosystem of peripherals, displays, docks, accessories to provide that full end user experience, no matter where or how they work. Our mobility portfolio, Dell Latitude, covers the wide range of use cases from entry level to the workhorse user, to the high performer, to the senior executive. There is a device and a size there for every need in your organization. Here's a quick look at how the Dell client devices fit into each of our own design personas, which is what we base on designing our products. But of course, the needs of every organization, as I mentioned, is different. So we'll work with you and Microserve together to recommend and customize the most ideal solutions for your hybrid work environment. But now that you have your devices covered, let's see how you can deliver intelligent user experiences that can spark creativity and ignite innovation with Dell peripherals and accessories. Now let's take a closer look at desktop displays. In 2019, Dell commissioned Forrester Consulting to explore and understand the role investment in monitors have in improving employee experiences. So Forrester conducted 3 online surveys, 450 respondents total, from various different industries and work cases. What they found is that the survey demonstrated that specific monitor features improved employee experience by enhancing their productivity, improving their well-being, and inducing a sense that the company actually cares about their needs, as opposed to making them stare at a small 14 or 15-inch screen. But perhaps a bit of a surprise finding was that monitors, not devices, came through as the most important component of a workspace, especially in its ergonomic features, connectivity, and also the front of screen experience, all contributed to the overall improvement in employee experience. And this was pre-pandemic. And we can be assured that this trend is going to continue and accelerate with hybrid work. The same study also found that by 2022, which is now, USB Type-C can be found in 8 out of 10 notebooks. And in Dell Technologies' case, it's 10 out of 10 notebooks, because we are now onto the 4th generation of our USB Type-C and Thunderbolt connectivity on our Latitude laptops. More than $6 trillion US will be spent on the rise of analytics and artificial intelligence in driving market demand for high-performance displays. IDC also predicted that 65% of enterprise accounts will have adopted a future workspace model, offering remote and share workspace solutions, especially now as some organizations go back to office. And again, this hybrid work environment, a split time with working from home. So the rapid growth in shared workspaces has driven critical demand for device compatibility across multiple platforms and meeting applications. Dell Hub monitors provide a platform for universal connectivity through an OS and vendor agnostic design. USB Type-C's combination of video signal, data transfer, and power delivery to a computer from a single cable really revolutionized the way for a new class of devices that can simplify technology connectivity and offers ultimate convenience, while the RJ45 built into a hub monitors enables stable wired connection to your network. And both of these attributes are very important for stable connectivity in today's hybrid workplace. Dell's collaboration monitors with integrated pop-up camera and Microsoft Teams certified speaker bar with one-touch launch, mute, call, and volume control buttons, along with indicator lights, make virtual meetings a breeze. And it's a useful feature that helps take the guesswork out of whether you're muted, double muted, or not muted at all, and who hasn't struggled or still struggle with that. While these monitors are Teams certified, the camera and speaker bar in the monitor itself works perfectly with all other video conferencing platforms such as Zoom or WebEx or whatever you happen to use. And for the in-office portion of the hybrid workplace, we have a lineup of commercial large format displays with 20-point touch from 55-inch all the way up to 86-inch for your meeting and conference room needs. It is a display without any embedded software or built-in media players in order to help protect the longevity of your investments. And there's a slide-in module that fits an Optiplex micro PC perfectly in the back to tuck away that cable clutter and allows you to maintain that very clean look. And then there's available Zoom and Teams room bundles with Logitech camera and speaker options and other VCs to complete this Dell meeting space solution. New for 2022 is a convenience accessory in our 14-inch portable USB Type-C monitor. That's perfect companion to your laptop when you start traveling and need that second screen, or be a companion larger screen to your mobile phone, as perhaps some of your senior executives might only take their phone without wanting to travel with the device to access their emails and some of their applications. So having this 14-inch screen is definitely a nice accessory to have. USB Type-C and Thunderbolt docks take both the user and IT experiences to the next level with enhanced security, simple manageability, and provide more connectivity options to your devices and all your peripherals. Dell USB Type-C and Thunderbolt docks are compatible with the entire Dell commercial portfolio. With the current generation models is spanning back 3 generations of previous generation devices, and also other vendors, USB Type-C and Thunderbolt devices, providing that they don't have anything in there that blocks the communication of their devices with Dell docks. You can choose your warranty with service tag on these docks, and the manageability aspect of these docks is the exact same way as you would manage your devices. There's one image for the entire docking portfolio, and there's one dock that can support Thunderbolt as well as DisplayPort. So if you want to enable multiple monitors, for example, in your environment with Titan Rich, Dell docks can support that. There's 3 variations of the Dell docks. They all look the same because the dock portion of it is the same. The only difference is one is USB Type-C, one is Thunderbolt 4, and then there's a dual charge dock essentially for our Precision 7000 series mobile workstations. And the best part about these docks is that it's modular. So this left-hand component of the dock, as you see, can be replaced without having to replace the entire dock. So if you invest in a USB Type-C dock today and want to upgrade to a Thunderbolt later, you can do that by purchasing a customer kit. Some more convenience features. Ultra sharp webcam, and we have a 2K Pro webcam. What I'm looking into is the ultra sharp webcam. Very good price. Essentially, what you see here is the actual size, so very small and compact for you to take with you on the road. For all those video conferencing that you will also be doing on the road. There's the Dell speakerphone with multi-port adapter, which is what I'm using as audio for this session. What's great about it is that it has great sound quality. It has these one-touch buttons on top for you for your video conference needs. It has a retractable port and also 7 different ports. Again, great companion if you need the additional connectivity when you're on the road. We have a team-certified noise cancellation headset with great sound quality, as well as a one-touch launch button for Microsoft Teams. Now, if you're wondering, how come everything is team certified? Because we're still in the first generation of a lot of these convenience features. And the first partnership or certification that we struck is with Microsoft Teams. You can be rest assured that our team is working with Zoom and also other video collaboration platforms to be certified for use with these accessories as we move on. We also have a wireless keyboard and mouse combo. So what's special about that is the latest generation that features a 36-month battery life under regular use. So really it's hassle-free. Now we're looking at this EcoLoop Pro backpack, Sylvan's favorite. Why we're showcasing this is because hybrid work means getting from place to place. Nobody wants to carry a big bulky backpack everywhere. How we've designed this backpack is a compartment for everything, but also it fits perfectly your Dell mobile devices. But maybe most important of all, the backpack is made from 100% recycled materials and is Ocean Cycle certified. The latest rechargeable active pen that is compatible with most Dell mobile devices. It lasts up to 40 days on a single charge and is the most intuitive pen that we've ever built. All in all, Dell has launched 14 new hybrid work solutions in 2022. And there's plenty more on the horizon for 2023 that will continue to evolve around the way that people work from anywhere. So now I'll turn it over to Jerry, who's going to take you through the Dell Optimizer as well as some of the manageability features for Dell Client Solutions. Jerry?
Thanks, Joey. There was a lot to go through there. So I'm the systems consultant for the Client Solutions Group here based in Western Canada. I've been with Dell for about 10 years. And basically my job is helping our customers, working with our partners on onboarding your Dell client devices. So, as Joey said, Dell has global reach. We have customers in pretty much every vertical you can imagine, and each have particular needs. So what I've been asked to present on today are just a couple of the topics, and I'll only probably scratch the surface on a few things here. But the first one we're going to talk about is Dell Optimizer. So Joey did a good job of sort of presenting the problem around how user experience and productivity are key to today's employees, both in on landing that employee and retaining them and keeping them happy through their use. So Dell Optimizer is a software solution that we've developed over the last couple of years to improve that end user experience and productivity. And I'll kind of walk through some of the features to sort of to emphasize that point. So, Joey, I guess I need to take control here.
Yeah, Jerry, you just press the control button. Take control
Yep,
button.
you should have control now, right, Jerry? Yeah.
I do have it, I think, now, and you should be seeing the little pictograph of sort of what a typical workday looks
Yeah,
like.
Yes.
From 7:45. That's a cushy job.
Yeah, well, the only thing I hope is that we all don't work these hours that they represent
Eastern
here.
time still.
Eastern time.
4:45
Oh,
a.m.
I see.
Yeah. So, what we're talking about here are a set of features that run across this application. So it's an application that, first of all, you'd obviously have to run on your device. And then we offer you complete flexibility in what features you choose to consume within that device. So what that looks like, to kind of walk through the features, is in the morning when I typically, or anyone would typically walk in front of their computer. It can leverage the built-in proximity sensor to sense that your presence, and then basically begin to either wake up your device, or should you be leaving your office or front of screen experience, it could basically then lock or put your device to sleep. So again, I typically work out of a remote office based at home, and coming and going from my office throughout the day. And this obviously saves probably, I would say 10, 15, 20 minutes a day, and that I don't have to actively sign in every time I sit down. It basically senses my presence. And then we've actually, kind of jumping around here, but we've also improved upon that with some of the intelligent privacy features. So again, with some of the latest generation devices, and leveraging a visual processing unit, we can identify faces and so on. And from that, we have things like onlooker protection. So if someone, if you're working in a public location and someone is looking at over your shoulder at your screen, we can detect that and basically implement a safe screen, which is basically a blurring or dimming of the screen. Or look away detection. So if I'm not looking at my screen, basically the device will again dim my screen when I'm not there. As we've moved into this pandemic, we're all leveraging our unified communication tools day in and day out. And I'm sure we've all dealt with audio issues over the course of the last couple of years. So Dell Optimizer supports intelligent audio, and this is a feature that's actually getting smarter and smarter as we sort of go from generation to generation of devices. But suffice to say, it's at a point now where we can basically detect what kind of environment you're in. So are you in a quiet room with lots of echo? We can basically reduce that echo. If you're in a noisy environment, we can look at basically reducing background noises. I just had a garbage truck go by my house as I've been talking, so it's disturbing me, but hopefully it's not disturbing my voice. And that's basically that feature in use in real time.
Yeah, your sound is really good without a headset, Jerry. I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah, thank you.
Because you're talking through the computer right now, right? You're not talking with a headset. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, no, it's great technology, and with hair like this, you wouldn't want to mess it up with a headset.
Well, we're not talking about hair between you and Joey here.
My hairstyle too. I don't want to mess this up.
That's right. That's right. Other features like Express Connect, so the ability to look at the network connections that are available to my device and basically determine which one is going to provide the best performance. So, for the example, if I'm connected via Wi-Fi, looking at the different Wi-Fi hotspots that I might have access to, and then leveraging those. And then again, as we've implemented new features to this, with the latest edition, we actually have the ability to also leverage multiple network connections. So in the example, if I was using my device where I had both a wired connection and a Wi-Fi option, we can basically combine both those network channels to provide better throughput, better performance over the network. Express charge, so looking at how we use our device, and this is actually sort of the history of this product. It's been around actually for about 7 or 8 years, and express charge and express response were kind of the two first features. And what they do is they actually use artificial intelligence that we've developed in machine learning locally on the device to determine the patterns of how we use our device. So express charge is a feature that looks at how we use our device through our day-to-day usage, and then basically determines an appropriate charging persona that would basically offer us the best battery life, and then can dynamically adapt for those days when maybe we've gone either we're working long hours and or we haven't been plugged in for quite some time, and it can look at basically changing the settings on our device to extend that battery life as we go through it. And finally, the last one would be express response. Express response. I see a question came in there. Dell Optimizer Intelligent Audio, is it available on all devices? Yes, different versions of intelligent audio are enabled basically from our, let's see, our 00 series Latitude devices through to today. So depending on the model, and we actually have a data sheet that sort of lists all the different features with all the last 3 or 4 year models across all the different commercial client lines and explains what's enabled, and we could provide that as well. The last one I'll talk about is express response, and express response is that basically that ability to optimize application performance. So we can go in and select what applications are available to be optimized, and then again using that machine learning and optimization will basically affect change on how those applications perform for their particular user. And then a precision-only feature would be analytics, which is the ability to run reports across those. Next slide. So this, again, just kind of walks through all of those features, but basically what we look at here is, some of those features are dependent on the generational model you have, and then also obviously the features that are enabled on that device. So things like the intelligent privacy requires latest generation with that visual processing unit built in. Things like express sign-in would require a proximity sensor. So, and things obviously like express charge would require you to have a mobile device with a battery in it as opposed to running a desktop PC. All of these features that we've talked about, there is the capability to install what features you want and not install others. So there is a modular install available for this tool. So you could basically select one feature or all the features or anywhere in between. And then there is also the ability to remotely manage this tool using some remote management capabilities that are built in, which would allow you to, A, determine settings that are out there running on devices, and B, IT would have the capability to set those settings and lock down those settings for users. So in practicality, when talking with customers, I do see that most IT environments that are looking at using Optimizer are looking at controlling and locking down the features to some point, and that point is really determined by what you're trying to do and the users you're working with. With that, we'll kind of flip over to some of the other productivity tools we have. So there's tools like Dell Power Manager, which basically very similar to some of the features in Express Charge, but if you chose not to leverage DO and Express Charge, you could also look at something like Dell Power Manager, which is exactly that. It's basically again an application that has tie-ins right through to the hardware level on your device on how we set the battery to perform. So we can get intelligence from the battery in terms of how it's set and how it will perform in the future. And then transitioning to moving from sort of where we came from. So pre-pandemic, I talked with a lot of, or in my conversations with many customers about management. Most of those customers were using sort of what I will call traditional management, which was aimed at how do I manage my device on premise and or on my corporate network. As we moved through the pandemic, we've obviously transitioned to a world where of hybrid work, where we have corporate devices today that may never actually even touch the corporate network. In that they're basically connected either from home or from remote throughout their life cycle. So how does IT transition to that modern management story? And I know working with Microserve, there's been a lot of conversations about customers transitioning to modern management with things like Microsoft's Autopilot and Intune or Microsoft Endpoint Manager. So what does that management typically consist of? Well, we need to initially deploy that device. So how do we get the relevant device with the relevant corporate image out to our users? How do we configure that device as we need to update it throughout its life cycle? How do we continually monitor that device to make sure it's performing at its top efficiency? And then how do we obviously update that device? All of these, I guess it's easiest to say, we don't have one single answer for all of those things that we've talked about, but there are a number of different complementary tools, services, and obviously working with our partners like Microserve that we can offer to help simplify, automate in some cases, some of these roles and responsibilities. So first, as Joey touched on, is that day one productivity when we receive a device. So Dell does offer the ability to have your devices enrolled in your zero tenant through Autopilot at factory. That's something that Microserve can set up for you. Automated monitoring and optional system help. So using other tools such as things like Support Assist and Tech Direct, which is our online portal, we can get reporting back into these tools on system health, overall sort of security, vulnerability assessments, application performance. All of those things can be monitored through that Support Assist and Tech Direct portal. And then taking that one step further, we can actually begin to automate and predict and automate some of those things before they happen. So again, using Support Assist and Tech Direct, we have the ability to actively monitor that device and predict, say something like a common hardware failure. So something like a hard drive failure, we could basically have that reported. And again, depending on how it's set up and configured, you could even have that automated to, okay, before this hard drive fails, let's tell the user that it's a good time to back up all their data. And number two, let's get them a new hard drive sent out to them before it fails. So all of that being said, one of the things I talk about quite often within this tool suite is something called Dell Client Command Suite. And Dell Client Command Suite is a suite of utilities, applications, agents, repositories that we offer to all our commercial customers to, again, simplify and help automate some of the things that an IT department would typically do when managing their devices. So this is not a replacement for your modern management solution, but it's basically there to supplement or augment some of the features and functionalities. So those things consist of deploy and configure devices. So how do we deploy our devices with the right drivers, the right BIOS, and start with that day one productivity? How do we configure? So BIOS, how do we configure a BIOS on a device if we need to either make changes as we deploy that device and or make changes throughout the life cycle of that device. That's a tool that can help there. Monitor is an agent that can provide deep hardware information on that device in terms of BIOS settings, warranty information, battery health, things like that can be pulled through that agent. Dell Command Update is another software tool that could be used to update drivers. So in the case you haven't yet moved to a modern management solution, Dell Command Update is a tool that can help with keeping your Dell specific drivers, BIOS, firmware updates up to date. And finally, the integration that kind of wraps all around that. So, we have integration packs that work with going back to some of the legacy tools like SCCM and others, all the way to the work we're doing now with, say, like Microsoft on the MEM console to basically introduce these tools into the web console of Microsoft Endpoint Manager. And then finally, the last thing I'll touch on is just another tool that has come up more frequently in conversations, and that's vPro provisioning. So vPro is an Intel set of technologies that basically involves performance, stability, security, and manageability. As it relates to this conversation, it's primarily around manageability, and that's the ability to manage that device out of band. So what that means is at the hardware level, so below the OS. So there are many tools out there today that can connect at the OS level, but vPro, should you have a device that's vPro capable and vPro is enabled, you have the ability to monitor that device at the hardware level. So basically shadow at the BIOS, shadow at a blue screen, remote power on and power on and off. Remote wipe that device should it fall into malicious hands. So all those type of features. So this is a conversation or a technology that I've had many conversations with customers, especially at IT help desks, on how do we support users, outside of that corporate network. So with that, I think that's it. I walked quickly through. As I said, I'm a resource at Dell that's basically here to help our customers on these journeys. So happy to talk to you today and partner with Microserve. Back to you, Joe, yourself.
Thanks, Jerry. So I just noticed we're coming up on time. So just do a quick sum up, and then I'll hand it over to Sil to conclude.
Awesome.
So in summary, I mean, why Dell Technologies is the innovative and flexible solutions that we presented today, intelligence and also security. And also, we have a very unique experience because we are an organization of 150,000 users worldwide. And we spend a lot of time collecting feedback from our own employees on an annual basis to figure out what the next step is for hybrid work and what the current environment looks like. So we explored a lot. Ultimately is the persona experience on our devices that we want to emphasize. Just skip forward here. Sustainability is another piece that we didn't get time to cover today, but ultimately in our design, in our packaging, we constantly want to innovate and do some good in that aspect as well. As an organization, by 2030 is our moonshot goals, and we want to be net zero by 2050, and that is organizational wide. We're the #1 across many different categories, almost all of them actually in client solutions. And in terms of a single source partner, their studies show that the more that you can procure from a single partner, the more you can achieve, and the higher the employee satisfaction. So we definitely have the scope to be able to do that. And all of this, as Jerry mentioned, we're a global company with a global reach. We are the largest OEM manufacturer, so we have these partnerships with other large OEMs, which leads to better lead times. We have the most complete technology portfolio. We have a responsible supply chain. And perhaps most important of all is we can offer you consistent purchasing experience with a partner like Microserve. So hopefully all of this will deliver, this seamless environment for your organization moving forward. So action items and next steps. First, we invite you to explore. We covered a lot of information today, and yes, we can definitely share this information as it is a publicly facing deck. But you can ask for a follow-on briefing on any of these topics or a deeper discussion on any of the topics that we covered, and that how we can help further support your hybrid environment because it's constantly evolving. Assess your remote capabilities within your organization. And because some of the things that we touch on, you might already be doing, or there may be some new ideas that you want to implement. We can work with Microserve to help you assess your existing workplace technology platform, the personas, and your employee experience. We can measure that, and we can help you free up budget to simplify and enhance what you already have in place. Learn, there's a lot more information that we can share aside from the publicly held studies. We have our own as well. I'll be happy to share those information with you if you want to learn more. And then last, perhaps most important, is to transform your workspaces to deliver that right technology to your hybrid workforce, no matter where they work. And that is all the material we have today. So thank you for sharing your time with us. Over to you, Sil.
Yeah. Thanks, Joey. So we have time for a couple of questions. If you'd like to either put your question in the chat or come off mute and have a conversation with us. Just housekeeping. The marketing team are going to put a survey inside here it is. The survey is in the chat already for you to give us some feedback on the session. And like Joey said, the Microserve team is available, to partner with the Dell team to, consult with your organization, see how we can improve your environment today, and, leverage some of the technologies that were presented today. So I hope you saw value in this conversation, and the Microserve team is here with our expertise to help you out. If you do not know who your account manager is, you can reach out to me, Sylvain J at microserve.ca, and I'd be glad to connect you with the right person. And that's it. Any questions from anybody? That was a lot of information shared here, so thank you very much for your time. Just going to monitor the presence if there are any questions. People are still all here. That's great. All right. If there are no, go ahead.
Hi, sorry.
Go ahead, Ben.
Are there any constraints currently?
In terms of availability, Jeffrey?
Just in terms of like the hub monitors and I guess potentially batteries for some of the laptops.
So supply chain question, Joey, in terms of what's going on. I know Dell's been overperforming the market as far as supply chain availability is concerned for everything we've been dealing with, but is there an overarching comment around what's going on in the supply chain?
It's vastly improved, and hopefully it'll stay that way, because the launch of our next generation products is literally around the corner now in Q1, because it always coincides with Intel launching their next generation CPU. But there's no known specific extended lead time. Vast majority of our products, monitors, devices, accessories are all on standard lead time. In terms of batteries, I'm not aware of any constraints right now. There might be a specific SKU or two on certain components or parts that might have a slightly longer lead time than others, but definitely I'm not aware of any of those nightmare scenarios we all went through a number of months ago where you got to wait months on end for something. We definitely have gotten past that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're seeing, Jeffrey, roughly a 4 to 6 weeks lead time, sometimes a little bit better than that from Dell. And I think, like I said, Dell has been overperforming the market. We don't really know how, but it's been amazing experience, and the numbers show it in our business segment. So 4 to 6 weeks is a reasonable planning with the Dell technology. to be conservative, you can plan for 8, but 4 to 6 weeks has been good performing activities
Yeah, for especially for customized
for
products.
CTOs. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, we Microserve has access to our distributor partners where we have some smart selection SKUs as well that is pre-built to a certain config, and those shelves are pretty stocked right now as well across the board. So comes on a pinch, you can't wait the 4 to 6 weeks. There's always that option to get you something faster.
Sounds good to me. In regards to your Dell wireless peripherals, are there any that are strictly USB-C with dongles?
Yes, so we do have a I showed the image of the speakerphone with the ports. We also have just a adapter version of that looks like a hockey puck with a retractable cord. It has 7 ports on it, and it also allows for power pass through, so it's nice because when you take it on the road, it can also charge your device. And that is the Dell Mobile adapter, the DA310. So we definitely have that, to improve connectivity.
Oh, yes,
And
that
it's
I saw. I was talking more about like keyboards and mice.
Oh, keyboards and mice. Sorry, wireless. No. So right now, actually, I shouldn't say no. I'll look into see if there is a USB Type C, but typically the wired, I believe, is still USB Type A. That or you go, and then also the wireless little adapter for the wireless sets are still USB A. No doubt, that's a very good question. Why don't we utilize USB Type C? That's I'll look into the products team and I'll follow up with you to see if we have something coming.
So we are a little bit over time.
Yeah,
thanks, Jeffrey. So we are a little bit over time. I'd like to thank everybody for your time. And if there are any further questions, please reach out to us. You got 2 email addresses in the chat that you can leverage. I'd like to wish you a great rest of your week and looking forward to engage with you. Thank you. Bye-bye.